KUAM TV 8, your broadcast home for the games of the 31st Olympiad. Captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion. KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson Navigation, proud sponsor of FestPac 2016, Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion, IP&E Fueling Excellence, McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, Pacific Solar and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo, always open, always local.
Coming right up, a police officer is jumped while responding to a report in Harmon.
Simon Sanchez High continues to be cause for concern for public health.
And in election headlines, a familiar face has joined the race for Congress. Afade and good evening, everybody. When a pair of Tamuning police officers responded to a disturbance at Hemlani's apartments in Harmon early this morning, they were outnumbered and attacked. While that incident is under investigation, agencies do recognize that there's a bigger issue at hand, judging from the number of calls to 911 received from the apartment complex.
Crystal Paco has our top story.
It's where good living can be rented, or at least that's what their sign says.
It's hard to ignore the headlines and the news stories about what is happening there, and we are concerned about the safety of our families there.
GURA Executive Director Michael Dueñas is referring to Hemlani's Harmon apartments, where at least 12 of the 50 units are homes for Section 8 recipients.
We are concerned for their safety, and we have asked the landlord to meet with us so that we can have an idea, a better understanding of what steps he's taking to ensure the safety of our families there.
GURA isn't alone in their concerns. Late last night, one of two police officers responding to the complex for a disturbance was assaulted by a group of people who attacked him with a chair. The police officer was treated and released for minor injuries to the face and head.
As we see it at this point,
while Chief of Police Joseph Cruz confirms 4 minors and an adult have been taken into custody, he says the investigation can't stop there. The frequency of calls made to 911 from the apartments is alarming. In the past few days, GPD has responded to the complex at least twice. On Saturday, a man was stabbed in the neck. Late Monday night, a bomb threat.
it's not enough just to address the issue that happened this morning. Otherwise, we're going to continue to go back there. We need to address this from a standpoint that takes it to another level, to a social level. And we're going to look at the stats to figure out how many times we've responded there, the frequency of the calls, the types of calls, what exactly we need to bring to the table to be able to address this.
Cruz says GPD will be working with GovGuam agencies, including the mayor's office and GURA, to address the matter. KUAM archives show a number of other incidents reported from Hamlani's apartments over the years, including stabbings, a spice bust, and a homicide that was later ruled an accidental death. Tamuning Mayor Louise Rivera tells KUAM she's been in talks with the building's owners due to noise and trash complaints from neighbors. KUAM was unable to reach the owners at any of their contact numbers listed on their website. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
And just minutes ago, the Guam Police Department has confirmed that 2 adults have been arrested so far in connection with this case. 21-year-old V.K. Katzen was arrested on charges of aggravated assault, possession and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony, assault on a police officer, disorderly conduct. He was booked and confined. Also arrested was 19-year-old J.N. John for rioting, crimes against the community. He also was booked and confined as well. 3 minors were also arrested.
In other news, public health issues continue to plague Simon Sanchez High School, and in recent inspection reports, inspectors have warned that if these issues persist, portions of the school could be closed off next year. Isa Baza has more.
Health and safety issues are nothing new for Simon Sanchez High School, but if outstanding violations are not addressed by this fall, portions of the school could be closed off to students. The Department of Education is working with the Department of Public Health and Social Services to ensure the campus fully reopens this August. According to Deputy Superintendent Chris Anderson, some of the outstanding areas date back to last school year.
Public Health came out, did the inspection. Of course, they identified quite a few demerits that could have shut down the school, right? but they allowed DOE to address those issues and then come back and reinspect.
Although almost all of the school's previous demerits have been addressed, he said painting and water blasting issues remain. A recent health inspection report shows several areas are in need of repair, including the gym, science building, boys' restroom, cafeteria entrance, and back wall.
I have to admit the school administration has been very proactive trying to address that.
In the past month, 3 of these areas have been corrected, but in spite of continued progress, the school's health rating remains low.
Because of the re-inspections that are required and like the painting that didn't get addressed for the few times they had come back to do the re-inspections, our letter grade will stay and remain at C.
DPHSS Director James Gillen said he's working with DOE to keep schools open. He feels perennial maintenance issues are affected by funding shortages. A $100 million deal to rebuild Simon Sanchez and repair 35 other schools has been in the works for several years, but is once again stalled due to multiple protests from opposing bidder Cortec International.
Well, my understanding is that Cortec is going to probably appeal to the OPA, and I believe that's the process that they can pursue. And, the Department of Education is just going to have to sit patiently and wait for the process to resolve itself.
According to the OPA, Cortec has not filed an appeal by Wednesday afternoon. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isa Baza.
Also tonight, the island's Head Start program will see reduced enrollment this fall. During a report to the Education Board Tuesday evening, Director Catherine Schrader said Head Start is requesting an enrollment reduction of 120 students because the program will transition from a 4-hour to 6.4-hour initiative, and 3 centers, namely at Price, Carmelito, and Weddingale Elementary Schools, do not have second available classrooms. Despite reduced enrollment, 3 rooms will be added at Telefofo, Harry S. Truman, and Daniel L. Perez Elementary Schools. The change was approved both by the board and the Guam Head Start Policy Council.
Good news for the Guam Department of Education, as a recent visit to the nation's capital shows Guam could see an extra $2 million in federal grant funding. Superintendent John Fernandez visited federal officials in D.C. last week to receive technical assistance for the consolidated grant. The grant typically provides DOE $20 to $25 million every year.
We did get a draft allocation table of our resources, which looks like we might have up to $27 million this year, which would be an additional $2 million for our schools. So that's good news if that estimate holds true.
The DOE is hoping to receive the money by October. The new Education Succeeds Act will also bring changes to Guam in school year 27 to 2018. The law is expected to provide more resources toward prioritized areas and may focus less on assessments and more on classroom instruction and supplies. Fernandez said he hopes to see more federal resources go straight into the classroom. A man accused of stealing a car, dealing drugs, and giving police a fake name is convicted by a Superior Court jury. Dennis Castro Aldon was on parole at the time he was caught for car theft. His criminal record goes back over 20 years with over 20 prior criminal cases. Aldon faces up to 27 years behind bars.
Also tonight, items like Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, Coach, Chanel, and Michael Kors are typically items you'd find at the T Galleria or Sabrina's Amazon wishlist. But instead, 2 search warrants were executed and Homeland Security investigators confiscated over 100 items believed to be fake luxury items. The warrants were executed on June the 18th at a kiosk at the Dededo Flea Market, then on Tuesday on a Toyota Corolla used to store and transport the fake goods from a home up here in Dededo to the flea market. No charges have been filed as of yet.
Following Tuesday's site visit to the Department of Corrections, Ganyan Mangilao Facilities, District Court of Guam Chief Judge Francis Tedinko Gatewood issued an order commending the local government and its team for working diligently toward the completion of the settlement agreement. DEPCOR has been under court order to make major improvements to provide adequate medical, dental, and mental care to inmates and detainees, as well as to install electronic locking systems. According to the order, the court was impressed with what it saw during the visit and ordered that all parties continue to work collaboratively. The next hearing is set for September 2nd.
Well, we are going to take a break, but when we come back, the latest with the scandal in Guam's Catholic Church.
And the U.S. EPA issues fines against the military and Guam shipyard. Stay tuned. You're watching KUAM.
To the world at home from everywhere you are. Get the KUAM News app for the latest in local news, videos, sports, streaming, Isla 63 AM, weather, and more. Available for free now in the iTunes App Store or Google Play.
When we face an uncertain path, when we struggle with life's challenges, and when the unexpected happens, it's a beautiful day. We rely on the people we trust, it's a beautiful, who we can always count on, beautiful day. And the ones who give us the most care throughout the years. Rely on Calvo's Select Care to give you the comfort and security you need. It's a beautiful day. Wherever you are. Calvo's Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you.
At IT&E, we take a different approach when it comes to data. We give you more 4G LTE data for less. Right now, take advantage of our 30 gig plan for just $50 a month. Yep, 30 gigs of 4G LTE data for just $50 a month. With 30 gigs, you get to do more of the things you want without worrying about going over your data limit or being throttled down. Download more, stream more, chat more, share more, do more with IT&E 4G LTE data.
We are a culture of love,
a people of respect,
an island of family values. We have the power to influence our community.
We have the courage to resist negative pressures.
We have the strength to prevent substance abuse
and promote healthy choices.
Alcohol is not part of our true island culture.
Respect for ourselves and others.
These are real traditional values. We have a choice.
Stay sober.
Stay in control.
We are the people of Guam. One nation, alcohol free.
Hot summer cool deals only at Triple J Auto Group. Receive a free $500 Kmart gift certificate with every purchase just in time for summer spending. Get unbelievable deals in remaining 2015s and all new shipments of 2016 models. Hondas, Acuras, Fords, Mazdas, Lincolns, Volvos, Kias, and used cars. New cars as low as $98 per paycheck and used cars as low as $85 per paycheck. Get pre-approved instantly at triplejguam.com. Triple J says yes. Trade-ins welcome. Some conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J Auto Group. Customers first.
Follow KUAM News on Twitter or become a fan on Facebook to get all your daily headlines from Guam's News Network.
Building on her experience from 2 years prior, Margaret Metcalf is running for Congress once again, hoping to bring not only a fresh face, but new ideas to our nation's capital.
Ken Quintanilla has more.
It's out with the old and in with the new.
I'm running again because all of us need opportunities to have a healthier and more prosperous life here on Guam. And it's time for us to have some new faces in Washington, and I'd like to be one of those new faces representing all of us here and working for all of us here.
And with family and friends behind her, Margaret McDonald Glover Metcalf officially filed her candidacy with the Guam Election Commission. Metcalf is running under the Republican ticket. The businesswoman and Governor Eddie Calvo's Washington, D.C. office director ran in the 2014 election, garnering nearly 15,000 votes. She says with this second go-around, her platform remains the same.
My platform basically stays the same. It's been another 2 years, and now it's been 14 years, and we still have had no word on reparations. We have had no relief from our compact issues. Our veterans and our seniors are still suffering, and our residents are still suffering without proper medical care. So I think that those are the life and death issues we need to sort of target right now. And we need to stop selecting lifelong failed politicians and start taking some new ideas.
The Republican Party of Guam's National Committee woman faces heavy competition this election. So far, former Governor Felix Camacho has vowed to run for Congress under the GOP, along with Congresswoman Malin Berdalio for the Democratic Party. Former Assistant Secretary for the Department of Interior Tony Babalta also stated his intentions to run.
I welcome the fact that our folks have some choices to make and that they have an array of people to choose from.
And as for what sets her apart,
a team player, whether you're in the lineup or not, you're on that field supporting your team. And I have not seen that evident in my opponents.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintanilla.
We should add a total of 86 people have filed as of today, with the most recent being incumbent Senators Frank Bluss Jr. and Senator Rory Masficio.
Moving on in our rundown, the attorney representing all of Archbishop Anthony Apparon's accusers has demanded answers. In a letter penned to Archbishop Savio Hon Tai-Fai, Attorney David Lujan wants to know the status of the investigation into allegations made against Apparon. Archbishop Hahn was, as you know, appointed by the Vatican as an apostolic administrator, while Apparon was placed on leave. All of Apparon's alleged victims were altar boys at the Mount Carmel Church down in Agate, where at the time, Apparon was a priest.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has fined both U.S. Navy and the Guam Industrial Services, or Guam Shipyard, for hazardous waste storage violations at Appa Harbor. According to U.S. EPA Region 9 Press Officer Dean Higuchi, inspections between 2012 and 2014 found hazardous material at the site, including flammable liquid, battery acid, lead paint, zinc powder, and batteries.
Occurred would pay a penalty of over $44,000, and the Navy will pay over $80,000 to settle the violations.
In addition to the fines, Guam Shipyard will spend $250,000 to $330,000 to remove an abandoned vessel on the shoreline of the outer PD Channel. He said all hazardous waste has now been properly managed. He reminds the public that hazardous materials should be properly disposed of to ensure the safety of our environment and the community.
We've got some very welcome news for our friends up north now, as Gura celebrates the completion of renovations to the Agafagumas Park up in Jigo. Nearly $500,000 worth of improvements were completed, including repairs to the existing open-air basketball and mini pavilion, along with the construction of a new mini skate park, bathroom facilities, perimeter fence, and new LED lighting. At today's ribbon-cutting ceremony was Governor Eddie Calvo.
This is a responsibility of the whole community to ensure that every family, no matter what their ethnicity is or what their economic condition is, they're all given the opportunity to live out their lives and to their full potential. That means having an area where they can relax and have a good time, not only with their families, but with their friends and neighbors.
The project is funded by the Community Development Block Grant through HUD and is intended to support people living in areas where eligible low and moderate income families make up more than the majority of the service area. The Jigo mayor will be in charge of maintaining the park.
And here's KSPN2 News with regional headlines.
Hafaday, here's what's making news in the Marianas. Could there be empty shelves on Tinian in the near future? The main shipping company sending supplies to Tinian in business since 1990. A family business will halt operations after July 2nd, as 7 contract workers must cease employment. SN5's Vice President Mike San Nicolas tells his customers and the Tinian residents in a June 15th letter, it's with a heavy heart his family business will have to stop shipments and cease operations for 2 months, starting the first week of July. San Nicolas expresses to SN5's customers the difficulty in replacing skilled guest workers with skilled U.S. citizens or residents as the contract worker crisis continues. The shipping company sends supplies over to Tinian about 2 to 3 times a week, according to one employee, Ronaldo, who will have to leave Saipan once his status expires on June 2nd. The owner tells the Tinian community and customers he prays for an agreement or a resolution to the contract work crisis and for the extension of the program to prevent, quote, what is happening these days, end quote. The Philippines Honorary Consul Glicerio Eliarago has requested monetary assistance from the Philippine government's Overseas Workers Welfare Administration to help the former Tinian Dynasty employees on Tinian. The employees are living without power, some in tents outside the barracks, in what some are calling a humanitarian crisis.
You don't have work, and at the same time, you don't have a very comfortable stay. So it's really bothering them. And that's the reason why I know a lot opted to go home.
Arago, along with members of the United Filipino Organization, traveled to Tinian last weekend to meet with the affected Filipino Dynasty employees. Without legal status to work at this time, Arago says he is aware the employees cannot even apply to other jobs. He says he also understands many of the employees cannot afford the plane ticket back to their home countries, as they are still awaiting payment of back wages from Hong Kong Entertainment. This is Jillian Angeline reporting. For more information, log on to kspn2.com.
Sports is on the flip side of this break, plus later, your birthday shout.
Did you know that when you purchase products that are made in Guam, you support our local businesses and entrepreneurs?
You allow creative individuals to pursue their dreams. You encourage people to imagine, and you inspire others.
Like me.
And me.
People like me.
And me. And me.
So the next time you're in the market for something, look for products made in Guam. Let's support our local visionaries and allow them to inspire us and generations to come.
Cars Plus has been around since 1999, and when FestPac was first brought up 4 years ago to Joyce, we knew we wanted to be a part of it. This truly was going to be something special for our island.
Hunggan, dinansi si Joey. Mansen magufami gwinigi Cars Plus. Sa hita ni tataltano, man magufam. Malas at tafat nuyes ti siya oche manyak duta ginin ocho na lugar. Malas at tafandana sa man pareho ni todo inengeta. Ilingwahi todo ni sinya infat nagwi siya the siya mafat nagwi hita lo man magufam ni mpatasok gu esti napata azuda I FestPac kwinigi sa Guam.
It's such an honor being a part of FestPac and knowing that Guam has made a powerful mark in our visitors' minds. This really is a special time for all of us. Viva FestPac!
You know the rules. Eggs and sausage, hotcakes and butter. Morning fare, right? Well, McDonald's has thrown away those rules and opened a new world of possibilities. Now you're free to start enjoying the breakfast you love anytime you wish.
No way.
Yes way. Introducing McDonald's new all-day breakfast menu. Once you changed how you ate breakfast. It's time to start changing when.
Tourism. It's Guam's #1 industry. And if you look around, you'll see how it's working for all of us. The money we make from tourism goes into projects that keep our island beautiful. From all our major roadways to our village streets, from our historic parks to our pools and beaches.
Tourism works.
Tourism works.
Tourism works.
Tourism works for me.
Brought to you by GVB. Siduus Maasi for making Guam the best place to live, work, and visit.
A well-put-together man is said to be sharp. At GMC, we get why people appreciate that kind of precision. After all, precision is the kind of sharp that slices through a crowd. This is the precision of professional grade.
Visit AutoSpot GMC today for great offers. We are your GMC dealer of Guam.
Top of the day, Total Malik, how are you? Hope you're doing great. Chris Barnett with sports. Let's get to sports and kicking it off with some Masters Friendship Basketball. Masters Friendship Basketball highlights. 40s taking on the PI traveling team. Romeo Sanchez wide open like a game room. The short jumper, count it. Roel Alves hits from long range. Corner three to Ladza. Nothing but net for the PI traveling squad. Sandy Farron dishing the ball to Ken Gutierrez, who's off, but teammate Mark Tyron pulls down the rebound and gets the putback to go for the 40s. Smokey lighting it up from up top like 423. Ron Tidegui pull up three from well behind the line. That's like a four-pointer. Drains it. On the break, Farron gives it up to Dom Regis for the basket. Baseline. PI traveling team winning 57-49. Romeo Sanchez, 22 points. Roel Alves added 19 in the win. Alves hits the shot with the defender. All over him like Finadeni on rice. Aloha Made, presenting the 12th annual Summer Jam Basketball Tourney. Opening games tonight, running through to August 6th in the 8 under, 10 under, 12 under, 14 under, 16 to 18 under, men's varsity, and open co-ed rec division. Attorney coordinator LCU Joa says it's an exciting time of year for hoops players to participate. The tournament continues to develop players who progress and excel, a testament to their hard work and commitment to being physically fit and drug-free. Now in its 12th year, the event hosts 42 teams, 150 games, 400-plus participants, including my nephew Ian, and its loyal fans visiting Tamuning Gym each week. Tatuha Mayor Luis Rivera chiming in, each summer it's great seeing the community come together, supporting hoops, keeping Guam's youth off them streets in an organized environment. All games held at the Tamuning Gym weekdays starting at 5:30 on weeknights. Games on Saturday and Sunday start at 11 in the morning with the final game being played at 7 p.m. Visit GuamBasketball.com for the game schedule, results, stats, or download the app. Yes, there's even an app for that. GuamBasketball.com to receive real-time game updates and results via the news feed. After completing training sessions and weekend training matches, Masakata head coach Mark Chargaloff has released the names of 24 players selected to the team's training camp starting today at the GFA training facility in Harmon. Guam's final roster for the EAFF E1 Football Championship Round 1. Guam will be released at the conclusion of the training camp. Now only 18 players will be selected for the final squad as well as 2 alternates. Chargalov saying for the players selected after the first cut, it's really about shifting to full competitive mode during training camp. Players will need to change their mindsets and fully focus on the upcoming matches, which are right around the corner. The team plays its first match of the tournament on June 29th against Macau, China. The Masakata next play against the Northern Mariana Islands July 3rd. Both matches kick off at 5 p.m. in the GFA National Training Center in Harmon. Of the 24 players selected to the training camp, only 13 are returnees. Additionally, 10 players named to the squad played in the IIAAG Girls High School Soccer League during the 2015-2016 school year. The EAFF tournament will also feature a men's competition with teams from Chinese Taipei, Macau, Mongolia, and the Northern Mariana Islands. A complete schedule of the matches online at GuamFA.com. And of course, the Masakata, the Guam national women's soccer team. In case you didn't know, now you know. All right, thanks for watching. You guys be safe and be good. Try not to attack anybody with a chair, all right? This ain't the WWF. My name's Chris Barnett with Sports. Adios.
Take a look around you, everything it has a beat, from the people all around to the walls of concrete. There's a rhythm, there's a flow, there's a stop, there's a go. If you never paid attention, then maybe you didn't know. Everything is moving to a relative time, you can always count it out. There's a reason and a rhyme, you will make me feel alive like the music so sweet. So get up your seat, just feel the beat. Just feel the beat, yeah. Just feel the beat. Hey.
The spring cleaning event is on at Nissan. Get into a head-turning 2016 Nissan Rogue with up to $5,000 off with no money down. During this spring cleaning event, you'll find great no-money down deals on the Nissan Pathfinder, Versa Note, and Altima. The Nissan Rogue, spacious, stylish, the best all-wheel drive vehicle under $25,000, up to $1,000 off and no money down during the spring cleaning event. Nissan up for 2 months. Find out more at NissanGuam.com.
When you reserve a party at Chuck E. Cheese's, it's guaranteed to be a blast. Blast off! And now, things are more of a blast than ever. Because for a limited time, tickets in the Ticket Blaster are worth double. Kid can be a kid.
Something in the back of their head, this wise voice that tells them, wait a second, maybe there might be another way to think about this. Maybe if I ask someone or I talk to someone about how I'm feeling, maybe there might be another way or another solution.
I guess I want those people to know that you're not alone in feeling that. I've felt it. I understand that hurt, but help is never that far away.
No matter what, it's good to externalize our emotions. It's good to talk about it, because if we don't talk about it, we keep it bottled up inside, and that's what kind of leads us to have those thoughts.
Giving up and quitting life is the worst thing you can choose. Trust me, when you choose life, you win. You'll always beat the monster that you're fighting.
If someone you know needs help, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.
All right, everybody, this exact time last night, we told you that there would be isolated showers, and then the sky pretty much opened up everywhere on Guam. So We're going to try again. Tonight we have isolated showers. That is the forecast. Partly cloudy skies with a low temperature of 80 degrees, so it's going to cool off considerably. East winds blowing 11 miles per hour. On Thursday and Friday, isolated showers throughout the day. It will be mostly sunny, so we're going to have some sun showers. High afternoon temperatures of 91, so it will be warm, and then it cools off once again around dinner time.
All right, with this Think Green, we take a look at sustainable gardening in action. Julie Hernandez reports.
Think Green is presented by Pacific Solar and Photovoltaics, keeping Guam green one roof at a time. Call 632-4002 for more information.
Going green can be both fun and easy. That's what over 24 high school students learned when they participated in the Guam Community College Sustainable Technologies and Environmental Education Program. For 3 weeks, students learned about subjects that revolved around sustainable gardening, aquaponics, hydroponics, and more. As part of the SEEP program, students have designed 2 aquaponic systems to grow lettuce and tilapia. STEEP coordinator Francisco Palacios said utilizing sustainable farming practices are beneficial for our community.
Only 5 to 10% of our produce is produced on island, and if shipping stops, we're in a lot of trouble. So this summer we wanted to educate them about how to grow their own produce, not in any conventional fashion, but the natural and organic way. And we teach them that or how this method of gardening and farming is better for the environment, better for the economy, and better for their health as well.
14-year-old homeschooled freshman Kainoa Rages said his favorite part of the program was using an AutoCAD computer program to design the gardens. Although challenging, he said he and others hope to put their knowledge to use.
And I think that a lot of other students are going to start growing more vegetables at home now that they've seen how easy it is to do it here.
The pulp will suck it up into the pipe.
George Washington High School senior Neil Jesse Rosario designed the plumbing for the aquaponic system.
My favorite part of this problem is just being around kids who enjoy doing what they love to do.
Students also designed and installed a solar system to power the gardens independently, further demonstrating the resourcefulness the program brings. With this week's Think Green, I'm Julie Hernandez.
Think Green is presented by Pacific Solar and Photovoltaics, keeping Guam green one roof at a time. Call 632-4002 for more information.
All right, it's our favorite time and yours. It is the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club, and tonight we induct now 7-year-old Hayden Akfaji. Your mommy, your daddy, brother, and sissy say happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Destiny Paris.
Also, happy birthday to Jerry Guerrero.
And Josiah Javier.
And happy birthday.
Again.
And happy birthday to KUAM's own Eli Mons. You too can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Go online to KUAM.com.
And that's going to do it for us here on Primetime. Stay tuned. Up next is Soyata.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.
Afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Historiata. Between May 22nd and June 4th, thousands of people arrived here at the Guam International Airport for the Festival of Pacific Arts. They came from close to 30 island nations to be delegates in FestPac, 500 of which came from Guam.
Buenas and half a day. My name is Leonard Zanan Iriarte, and I am the oral historian and principal instructor for the Fanalayan Oral History Project based out of the University of Guam. And I oversee the organization's research working group, which does, of course, our research and leads our organization, and the performance art group, what is commonly referred to as the chant group.
It was his chant group that you saw at the start and end of the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture.
At the opening and closing ceremony, the very first thing on our mind when we do any kind of chant performance, even at a Festival of Pacific Arts, is we need to show respect for our heritage and our ancestry. We do this with the thought in mind that we're there as part of Ifanalayan, but you're really there to represent your bloodline. Every person that joins Ifanalayan, you're there to represent your grandmothers and her grandmothers before her, your grandfathers and your grandfathers before him. And you're there to represent your bloodline. You're there to show that you haven't forgotten who we are. And we do this together as a group, kind of like an alliance of clans, as it were. It's a very interesting process to observe. And then we hope to transmit that to the audience. We're here for our ancestors first, and we're here for your ancestors as well. And we hope we do this with dignity and integrity, something that they would respect. At the opening ceremony, the chant that we performed that was very important for us was a song called Ikulut Minyaina, the shell trumpet of our ancestors. And it's a beautiful song, and when we sing that song, we're at a more personal level. We're trying to build our strength and learn to sing together as a group, while calling out to our ancestors to come and join us in this very glorious moment. At the closing ceremony, we did a chant, a real yelled chant, very loud, sounds aggressive, and it's called Guidzat Manatakilo. Guidzat Manatakilo means he or she is made high. And when used in a traditional context, like at the canoe greeting ceremony or at the closing ceremony, we are recognizing those in the community who have great knowledge, the wisdom of our elders.
According to Leonard, there are many different kinds of chants and chants that serve more than one purpose. Chants, he says, at a fundamental level is the transmission of information.
Chant is a very important factor in the preservation of very old traditional information, and we take this and we use this in our chants. It's not merely a song for entertainment. These chants and songs have real cultural information, often very esoteric, very, very deep. When we teach this to the individual that participates with us, we are helping them to discover their heritage for themselves. We work to help the community understand its heritage, and we do it usually one person at a time. At a festival, we have the opportunity to do that for the wider community and our visitors on island. It kind of lets them know where we are at this point in time in our cultural renaissance, in our development as a people.
Leonard attended his very first Festival of Pacific Arts in 1976 with his father. After taking a 28-year hiatus to study, he didn't return to a festback until 2004 when it was held in Palau. Over the years, he says the festivals have evolved.
Well, culture like language is a very dynamic thing, right? So it's constantly changing. We have traditional art, but even traditional art, it used to be thought that the traditional arts were a stagnant thing. They're not. Even traditional arts change and are dynamic as well. The festival, like culture, like language, is a dynamic thing and does feature very prominently traditional practices, as it should. But the festival is changing, has been changing. And I think here on Guam, it changed a bit more for the better, a bit more. I think Guam has put its fingerprint on the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture. And I think it still remains to be seen where we go with that. But the festival has come to Guam, benefited from that, and goes on with that very, very beautiful Chamorro fingerprint on it. And so I really look forward to watching what comes from it in the future. But I think it's going to continue evolving, and God willing, it becomes something more as for all Pacific peoples. Amazing moment, amazing 2 weeks. I've been a part of FestPac for a very long time, since I was very young, and it has taken my entire life for FestPac to come full circle and come back, or come to this part of the world, to Guam. I believe it goes to Hawaii after this, and then to Fiji, back to the originating point. Fascinating, and I'm just so proud of Guam and the way we handled ourselves. And I'm just very proud of our island and our people. Well done, Guam. Well done.
Stay tuned. Historiata continues after the break.
While hundreds of homeless seek shelter every day, when memories fade like old photographs, and families struggle to care for loved ones with special needs, as young children are caught in the storm of abuse and neglect, we are there. For over 30 years, we have helped Guam's victims of life when there was nowhere else to turn. You can help too by giving $1 a month. God bless you.
People love my portobello mushroom buttery jack, made with portobello mushrooms, grilled onions, and garlic herb butter. Ever wonder how I came up with it? Well, actually, I came up with it at the water cooler, but I thought you'd like this cowboy story better. The portobello mushroom buttery jack is back. Part of the buttery jack family. Taste it before it's gone.
Good everybody, and welcome back to Historiata. If you didn't get a chance to watch any of the fashion shows during the Festival of Pacific Arts, well, you certainly missed out. But in our next story, we introduce you to one of the many fashion designers that stole the show.
Afterday, Guagusi Joseph Certeza. I'm a Chamorro textile designer and printer. I'm also a youth mentor, community organizer, and I'm a big-time muralist. I also come from the village of Doña. My family name is Pamilyang Gumataltao. Gumataltao Diaz from Saipan and here in Guam. My father's side is Pamilyang Certeza, and we come from PD and Agate.
Joseph took up interest in his craft when he was a student at MU Lujan Elementary School.
Participating in drawing competitions, and that's got me started into art. But most of my cultural stories that you see here today and what you're going to see in the Festival of the Pacific Arts came about in 2008 because I moved to the United States. I was a very rebellious high school student who just graduated and wanted to just party and have fun.
It was in college, he says, he began settling down and experienced a cultural awakening.
This kind of drive to present something in my art that tells my story of being from Guam, being Chamorro. And to today, I wanted to push my art a lot further than it being just a visual piece that you see on a wall or on a canvas. I wanted to make my art functional, which is what got me segued into printing on fabric, using stories that I've learned over the past couple of years and using symbols to tell that story.
And the most functional way Certeza says to display his art, which tells a story, is through clothing.
What you see here are a lot of symbols that reflect Micronesian stories primarily, because my understanding of patterns has been influenced by all the older folks that I've run into just talking stories about our own cultures. Hung out in Yap, and they inspired me so much. Hung out with folks from the Marshall Islands, which kind of was one of the main influences in my whole pattern work phase as an artist. And through the understanding of the patterns, their stories, and how I can connect with it in how I produce art today, kind of feels more whole in a sense that this is my niche. This is something I feel comforted in and something I can share with other folks. And for functional art, might as well just turn it into clothes.
It's wearable art that defines a person and his past, their culture, and sense of community.
Yeah, it's an interesting process for me, really. I do get really deep with my process. So a lot of my designs was based off personal research through the textbooks, how different islands use patterns, like in Aotearoa, how they define patterns as body armor. And that body armor represents your lineage, your family, who you are, what you have done in your community. And that's kind of influenced me into like fabric. When I did a fashion show in September, I designed skirts that defined the woman who wore it. So I took really influential women that I saw who influenced me, and I designed skirts for them, and the patterns represented who they were to me as an artist. Whether it being a magahaga to a woman who's endured so much through marriage that no matter what, she's still an amazing mother. Despite how much struggle we may have between mother and son, what she has done until today is just phenomenal, and I cannot say anything bad about it. Be grateful for the fact that she's such a strong woman. So I create stories that define the person.
Although the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture is over, Joseph is now working to launch his brand, Tao Pacific Designs.
I've been really learning as a Chamorro practitioner about the word Tao. I've always defined Tao as the individual, but recently through documents about family names by Laura Thompson, we learned that Tao means to give. And when we look at the work here, all we can do is give people a sense of place, a sense of identity. And I think that's the beauty behind the word Tao and Tao Pacific Design, is that we want to give our own community that sense of pride, a sense of that's my story, or that's the sense of, hey, I relate to that story because of my life experience. Like magahaga, like this is one of my magahaga patterns. And it defines like the woman being very well-rounded, being a foundation for so many different things, just to maintain her sense of beauty, her sense of womanhood, and just to acknowledge that and appreciate that, because we live in a matrilineal society, and I guess through the fabric is one way of acknowledging that and recognizing the story of women. So that's the coolest thing with this fabric, and with the whole point of my artwork is to share that story, but also give that sense of pride, like that I can own that, especially for our community.
Keep it here. Historiata continues after this.
At IT&E, we take a different approach when it comes to data. We give you more 4G LTE data for less. Right now, take advantage of our 30 gig plan for just $50 a month. Yep, 30 gigs of 4G LTE data for just $50 a month. With 30 gigs, you get to do more of the things you want without worrying about going over your data limit or being throttled down. Download more, stream more, chat more, share more, do more with IT&E 4G LTE data.
A beautiful, healthy smile is an expression of confidence. The more confident you are about your smile, the more likely you are to fully express your feelings without having to worry about the way your teeth look.
Before cosmetic dentistry, I didn't smile as much. I didn't have the confidence, and it shows. And since I've had cosmetic dentistry done, I feel 10 times more confident. I make my initial introduction with a nice big smile and a handshake, and I just feel like it really is a relationship builder, a nice warm smile, and it makes the clients and customers feel more comfortable with you, feeling confident, and they feel that you're not just there for business, that you're also there kind of as a friend as well. So I mean, it's amazing how powerful a smile can be. A good smile.
Since your smile makes a significant impression on those around you, it is important that it makes the impression you want it to make.
Afternoon, welcome back to Historiata. Our next delegate comes to us from the University of Guam.
Hello, my name's Louis Rifkowitz. I'm a professor of art here at the University of Guam, teaching in the three-dimensional areas.
The Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture on Guam was Lewis's very first one to participate in.
I've been here at the university since 1989, and I've watched a number of my colleagues travel off to FESPAC, and it's been, rather exciting to hear the stories of what's happened and, the interactions between the cultures. But we always have this, interesting dialogue that goes on.
Lewis has been involved with clay since the early 70s when he was a student at Rutgers University as an anthropology major. He took a ceramics class there and fell in love with it.
My first big influence was working as an apprentice for a Japanese artist. His name was Katsuyuki Sakazumi, and he was in New Jersey, where I lived, building a Japanese onigama kiln, or a hill kiln as they call it. Very traditional 17th century kiln that's fired with wood over the course of many days, and the aesthetic that happens on the pot is just the marriage of wood and ash melting. And it was really beautiful, and it kind of spoiled me because I got to reach this pinnacle before I knew a lot about clay, but it was wondrous at the same time. I worked my butt off and, learned as much as I could. Sometimes you just have to humble yourself to put yourself in that situation where you're going to learn. And that was really wonderful.
After his apprenticeship, Lewis moved to Kansas, where he received a Bachelor of Fine Arts from the Kansas City Art Institute. Eventually, he moved to Montana for his graduate work at Montana State University.
I ended up figuring, well, what's next to do? So I moved to Seattle and, fell in love there. And it's a beautiful city, but it really wasn't a way to support myself. I was doing what every artist does. I was painting houses, waiting tables, doing all sorts of odd jobs.
But things would change when he was offered a job at the University of Guam.
A number of applications went out, 2 offers came in, and one intrigued me. It was a small little island in the Western Pacific that I knew nothing about at the time, but I soon discovered would spend my life at, and that's how I got to Guam.
In 1989, he moved here and hasn't left since.
Guam has been exciting. I came here and fell in love with the ocean. Living in the middle of the country in Kansas City and then in Montana, I didn't see many oceans. So this was like, hitting the water. It was like seeing life for the first time. And when I first learned how to dive, that blew me away.
During the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture, Lewis was stationed at the Isla Center for the Arts at UOG. It's where you can find him and enroll in a class.
I teach the entire spectrum of classes. I teach basic ceramics, and within the basic ceramic class, I also have, a table over there for students who want to continue in intermediate ceramics and advanced ceramics, and work with them in developing their ideas and their techniques, okay? I can never make a full class out of that because we don't have the density of students who would continue. And it's the same with sculpture. I teach basic sculpture, and within the sculpture class, I have intermediate sculpture students and advanced sculpture students. I teach a 3D design class, which is really fun, and I'm trying to keep it current. This summer, I'm going to try to do some research into 3D printmaking, printing technology, and we have a School of Engineering that's opening up soon, so I want to stay current and give our students the opportunity to interface with technology also. So that's, yet something, another hat I have to wear and hang on my head. But, I'm kind of that way. I'm Mr. Tangent. I go up on these tangents and it's really wonderful. I love learning. So, I can do that.
We'll wrap up the Historiata when we return.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Ruby Tuesday now gives you more for lunch. Endless trips to the Fresh Garden Bar, plus add-ons, mini combinations, and even new meal options. It's the new lunchtime menu, available Monday to Friday until 2 p.m., only at Ruby Tuesday.
Now is the time, Guam. The Drive and Discovery event is going on now at Cars Plus and My Team. Get the award-winning 2016 Hyundai Accent starting at just $11,995. That's right, $11,995. Or indulge in the completely redesigned 2017 Hyundai Elantra starting at $16,995. For fast credit approval, visit us online at carsplusguam.com. With quick and easy financing available, the time to buy is now. Come experience the Drive and Discovery event today at Cars Plus Hyundai, the official vehicle sponsor of FestPack. Cars Plus, driven by you.
And that is a wrap on our final episode of Historiata. Thank you so much for watching. We leave you with one final look back at the Festival of Pacific Arts.
Rotuma,